Right, guys, welcome back to part 2 of this mini-series in overcoming ulcerative colitis and autoimmune conditions. So, like I said in the previous video, what are the causes of ulcerative colitis? It's an autoimmune condition. So, what is an autoimmune condition, and what does that do? An autoimmune condition is when your body starts to attack healthy tissue within your body. This could be anything. This could be your skin, this could be your joints, your eyes, your hair. In the case of IBD, ulcerative colitis and Crohn's, it's your gut lining that's getting damaged. Your immune system is attacking it. So one strategy in which Steve Grant Health had me do right off the bat, I remember, and it had a profound effect, and I really underestimated how powerful this strategy was until I later did it further down the line when I had another flare-up, and that is to adopt a rotational diet, a 4-day rotation diet, where you are consuming foods, whole foods, so single form ingredients. That is key, and you're not exposing yourself to that any more than once every 4 days. So for example, I would consume chicken or poultry on Monday. I wouldn't eat that again until Friday. I'd also completely eliminate any classic foods or food groups that cause inflammatory response in the body. So gluten, dairy, alcohol, those sorts of things, those were eradicated as well from my diet. So, and eggs as well, another big one that I was consuming a hell of a lot of, being into bodybuilding and looking to try and put on muscle, that protein. I was having eggs every single day, multiple times a day sometimes, and they tend to get into a lot of different types of food as well. You see eggs listed as some of the ingredients in like some gluten-free breads even, and pastas and things like that. So you come into contact with these things so multiple times a day sometimes, and that in itself, you might be having a subtle reaction to it, and sometimes that's the case, but for me it was quite an aggressive reaction that my immune system was having to those foods, and caused a hell of a lot of damage, and with that a lot of inflammation. Leads to leaky gut, damaged mucosal lining of the gut. That's where the immune system attacks. These holes that food particles can get into the bloodstream and cause high levels of inflammation through the body. And this is quite a common thing nowadays. So I think overexposure to certain foods that you might not be none the wiser is causing you an inflammatory response. Try to encourage yourselves to get a variety of different foods. Looking to get onto a whole food diet and avoid foods out of packaging, which may have tens of ingredients in there. Some of which you probably never heard of before. You don't know how your body's going to react to that once it goes inside of you. You look at maybe some of the soaps and things that you're putting on your body. You might be having a reaction to that. Not just what you're putting inside yourself to eat. So some of the liquids that you might be drinking. Alcohol is obviously a bad one. It's toxic for the body, kills a lot of the good gut microbiome, and that is another thing where the rotational diet is quite effective, is restoring gut balance. Because there's a lot of studies coming out and saying that is the root cause for a lot of issues, and I do believe in the case of ulcerative colitis that to be true. In my experience, getting the gut itself into balance, repopulating the gut with good beneficial gut microbiome, and looking to kill the nasties off, really. And if we're constantly feeding that through poor quality ingredients, it's a recipe for disaster. So that is one way in which we can calm down the nervous system. We allow ourselves to eliminate these ingredients from our body over those 4 days before we can then consume them again. And over the course of time, you can start to identify where you might be having a response from. If you're writing down exactly what you're eating, you're having single form whole foods, you can start to make a little picture as to what your body's responding to in a negative way. So that for me was tip number 1: eliminate foods that are going to cause an inflammatory response, and get on to a rotational way of eating, or increase the diversity of your food. So that will help calm down the nervous system, an overactive immune system, which is really what an autoimmune condition is. So that's tip number 1. In the next video, we're going to look at ways to lower inflammation in the body. So that is next. Having a rotational diet and calming the immune system down is one way of doing it, but we're going to look at a few more other ways. In particular, we can lower inflammation in the body and in the gut as well. So if you could like and subscribe this video and the channel, that would be much appreciated. And any comments, any questions you may have, feel free to post them below, and I'll do my best to figure out how I can respond to them. All right, see you in the next video, guys.